𝑃𝑡.2 𝑉𝑎𧑧𝑢𝑠𝑘𝑖 phone number 260. Take the units in our communities who pray night and day for peace within you and we. Let's take the mind of the fearful society who just want to get out of poverty. So they believe violence is the only key to make it out of these suffering streets they bury us in. But the air we breathe is filled with dishonesty, as we are told lies when we first open up our eyes. When we were promised equality, promised to be free, promised to breathe fresh air royalty rather than beg to be seen. We walk these streets bearing a cold heart, not knowing our place to start. Why? Because our families are torn apart. Let's take a child, a young African-American child. So let's begin at the roots, where slavery was all he knew, women too. How the wicked can be so cruel. As he watched his father and his mother, his father a man of honor, and his mother a nurturer, be beaten and forced to do whatever the white man told him to do, and still be beaten for doing what the white man forced him to do. Oh, they could be so cruel to me and you. As they say, my family gotta eat too. Let's take the cries of that young child and carry it to the present day's black child. Now let's take the present day black child, black male, who leaves his child and leads his child to join him in a life of crime, where his little smile will be snatched away by gunpowder. No longer can he fly a kite, as he is taught how to take lives. As he finds the end of his life to a bullet shot from another black man's gun. Now let's take that father who grew up watching his father snort white powder, beating his mother and burning her Mother's Day flowers. As the son says, "Mother, will I one day not see you?" And her mother utters, "Son, I am scared too." Now let's take that father who grew up without a father, as his father was shot and killed in gun violence playing ace of spades. So he grew up not knowing how to behave. He grew up with no one to look up to, no leader to run to. So the streets is where he fell to. Let's open his little eyes to a world of crime, but no one, rather, when now our own people are the ones taking lives of our own people. So much so that we forget that we are equals, because we are buried in hatred and envy, especially jealousy. We hate to see another black man succeed further than us. We accept equality in the wrong way. As in early on in our ages, we are painted to be young criminals. So now let us take the word slavery and see that we still are carrying our ancestors' cries and the bloodshed they shed to be free. So let's say the truth. That I truly believe they are displeased with the way we choose to be, how we choose to be pawns, and we choose to be had. Choice. Now let's compare our communities to the jungles, how the white man destroys our home. Say our first eyewitnesses to gruesome rumbles, where they bear no time to stumble, no time to mumble, they bear no time to fumble. All they have to do, and all they know, is that they have to flee before the machines make them crumble. So the white man can continue to breed and build their facilities and gain more royalties. Why? Or so they can continue to live the American dream. But let's look at these surviving animals who now reside in a small fraction. Whatever interaction quickly becomes a violent interaction, as the only way to survive is to feed off the neighboring sides. The cries are no longer different. Rather, they were never different from you and I's. They were never different from the bleeding cries from our community's eyes. We like them. Excuse me. We like them are thrown into the slums with nowhere to run. Where we believe we have to become a thug in order to be protected by our murderous ones. We say the only way to get out is by the gun. There is no heaven. There's jail. There's no peace. There's dope. So we find ourselves dead by the gun, thrown in jail, or somewhere doped up living in hell, praying and hoping that we prevail. They no longer have to kill us as we do all the fun. A system has begun. The will of slavery is still being sprung. Give them their freedom, don't make them depend on us to feed their lungs. We can play rewind in history where the violent acts were chirped from the white man's tongue. Let's take Will Brown, an innocent black man, our ancestor, who was beaten, tortured, shot, lynched, and body was burnt, accused for sexually assaulting a white woman, jumping out of the woods while a beautiful white couple was walking after bearing the pleasure of enjoying a late night film in which we couldn't enjoy it with them. We couldn't enjoy it, as they bear no evidence that Will Brown was the attacker, and being a black man was all they needed. He was older than age, so they didn't care. To them, lynching us was a game they couldn't wait to play. Had it been a black woman raped by a white woman, no one would have heard a thing. They hung him on a tree before the police took him into custody. The whole town filled with white women, white men, and their children gathered violently through the streets, screaming that he be slain, forcing their way through the police, which I believe to be a lie. Why? Why on earth would they help our kind, especially during those times? I believe the police handed Will Brown to them and joined them secretly, rather publicly, but kept secrecy so he can pay for the crime. Burning his body alive, rather, before they burnt his body, they took him out from custody and beat him, unclothed him, tortured him, hung him, lynched him, shot him to death, took his body down, and then burnt him, lying on the ground. They didn't burn him, they burnt all of us. Every black body, every male body is another male body of a black man. Every woman is another black woman. Every child is every black child. One kills one of us, everyone dies with them. Part of us is lost. If one black man cries, every black man cries. If one black male kills a black woman, he is killing our ancestors. And we so-called fight our own kind, we are fighting all of our ancestors. We're not saying, damn, what we've been through. My hatred is what cures me. Surrounding Will Brown's body were white men dressed in fashion. They even had their little kids with them, the teens. They too were there to witness this gruesome scene. As the fathers tell them, look at the wonderful things you can grow up to do. You too have power. I'll show you proof. Now what is the truth? Blackface. That's the truth. The men who jumped out the woods were no other than white men, so bitter and devilish that they colored their face black and attacked the wrong. It's all a game in their brain to lynch our own people. It's all a game in their brain. It's fun to them. As present day, we depend on them for assistance, many of us, including myself. We live on food stamps. We live on SSI. We live on Section 8. We live on welfare. We thrive on DEI, as they're planning to rid of under the nose of their beloved Trump. The list can go on. I believe you'll find that we were not born free. We were born with a code. We entered this humanity with a code, a name, and a date. So they can monitor our fate. It's all a game in their brains, I say. Yet our communities, rather the famous ones who so-called make it out the slums, they don't use their platform to make a change. They teach you, they teach us, they teach me, and they teach our children how to stay in change. Also, they can continue to make gain and to make more fame and more money, more change, as they promote sex, violence, drugs, and even more sex, violence, and drugs. When we turn on the TV, that is all we see today. When we tune into the music, that is all we hear. That's all we hear. House slaves, house Negroes, field slaves, field Negroes. One doesn't favor to say things like this. Lord, truth must be gave. Desperate field slaves will turn into house slaves very quickly. As long as you give them what they need, they will turn on their own kind. To be compassionate, many start off with a peaceful mind, rather with a simple quest to eat and get their family out of poverty. Though as you see, the wicked man got his palms on every tree in our society and can cut them down whenever he feels the need to be. We are looking up to the wrong group. There are no leaders in our industries. Rappers say stop the violence and then murder in silence. They say stop the violence and then promote the murders of their crime. They rap about it. They pose for the cameras like they did with Rob Brown. They stand over our graves, spit on them, torture themselves. They don't realize that they're sinning in a way that when they leave this world, they will not be forgiven, because they are willingly doing this. Our young women are turning sex addicts, as that's how they want them to be. They betray our women to be lustful. Our women became aggressive. I believe it is because of our men to why they become so aggressive. Our men don't know how to lead. They say that the woman should lead. They say that the woman should heal them mentally. It's a woman's job to do it, so it's not their job. It's a woman's job to teach them how to love themselves, not them. You see, our humanity, our society is divided, and we've been conquered. And we are still being conquered, still being divided. And we're allowing it to happen. Still more, we continue to promote senseless violence. You cannot blame our young teens, as they are merely looking up to the ones who supposedly lead, the so-called leaders of our communities who give cold turkeys out to the ones who don't have a home to cook, a home to bathe, a plate to eat on, or a stove to cook the turkeys in. And they say they're giving back. We should learn from that and not indulge in that. Though we indulge in it, we follow in their false footsteps that destroy our fate. And when Judgment Day comes, what you believe will be sprung. I know the truth. So they do it all so they can continue to be paid. There's a few leaders I like to mention: Michael Jackson, Nipsey Hussle. I mentioned Tupac, XXXTentacion, our brothers, the very few who use their platform and wealth to make a change. We're taken by our own race. Sadly, though, truthfully, it's displeasing to know that behind the violence in our communities, it is none other than our little teens and our little children following in the footsteps of the adults who later on kill them. I seen on the news a 14-year-old little African American girl was found dead, shot by other little kids around her age. They set her up. I say, where do you believe they got that idea from? The music. I swear. I believe you will find out we are all victims of villains and still don't know how to find unity in ourselves because we're so blinded by diamonds and fame and fortune that we don't care to look outside of ourselves. Rather to look inside of ourselves, we live outside. And we are distracted trying to live the American dream that was not made for us, not made for thee, not made for me. To be honest, it's quite boring. Not that I live it, but I can picture myself in it, and I'll be quite bored very quickly. You don't know yourself mentally, or the wealth and fame you have mean nothing when you can't enjoy it inside. You feel lost, walking around hopeless, smoking, telling yourself it's alright when you know it's not. When one of us falls, we all fall. Until we learn to live in this way, we can never talk about stopping the violence because we are violent within ourselves. Red coats and blue coats are now seen as Bloods and Crips. Two words to describe our unholy brothers is very sickening. Two words many times sin. Tupac should have known better than becoming a thug, thinking that there's a cure to this. Though I can't blame him. I'd rather say I understand the choices he made. What can he do when the odds were stacked against him in many, many ways? And he remember Pac as a thug, not for who he really was. What can he do when the ones he tried to lead turned on him? God is here to make a change. As you know thy name. You know thy name. You know thy name. You know thy name. Part 2. 𝑉𝑎𝑧𝑢𝑠𝑘𝑖. Poem number 260. 4/22/24. 4/22/24. There's no one left to blame, as you are aware of our pain. We rap his name and sing it for fame. God is here to make a change. You know that name.